the Cincinnati Bengals come over to Dallas and come to town for a Monday night matchup in a battle against the Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium. Two teams desperately trying to stay alive in the playoff picture. You have a 5-7 Dallas Cowboys team fresh off their first win at home in 2 straight. On the flip side, the Bengals are 4-8 in their record, much like the Cowboys. Not a true reflection of this team. Should be makings of a good one. I'm Nicole Hutchison, though, here to get you ready for it all on Cowboys Rewind. But there's been a busy week here at the Star. I have to rewind you back through it all. Rico Dowdle becoming a hot commodity after his performance in the Cowboys' Thanksgiving Day win over the Giants. A career day in rushing yards, carries, a longest run of his career. His stock went up, and the Girls Talk Boys Talk crew broke it all down.
Well, I like that he is finally part of the 100 yards rushing club because, gosh, it was such a long time coming. And of course, it just gives you more confidence in him as your starting running back. It gives, I'm sure across the board, play callers more confidence in calling plays that involve him. It gives McCarthy more freedom to open up the playbook a little bit now that you have a consistent running back. And it's one game, but one of many I feel like he can stack if the play calling allows. I also really like his confidence in how he has handled this entire situation starting from training camp and even beyond that, because he has genuinely waited his turn. We talk about this week in, week out, but the way Rico has stayed patient really reminds me of his running style because he's patient with it, he shifts, and then he's off. So it's kind of symbolic of how he runs the ball to what his journey has been in football overall, because he was patient, he waited his turn, his number was called, and he takes advantage of the opportunity, as he absolutely should. So very proud of Rico, very happy to see it.
I tweeted during this game he was displaying a lot of patience, and I agree with you. I think we talk about the game slowing down for guys all the time. It's definitely slowing down for him. You see him reading what the defense is doing. Like, you can even see his eyes on film. Like, seeing him, he misdirects people sometimes with his eyes. Like, he's starting to use some of those instincts to his benefit. And that's why I think we were pounding on the table at the beginning of the season. That's why the reps are that important. People just think running back is just go out there and run. It's like, no, they have assignments. Their processing has to be on point. And so we're starting to see that from him. But a lot of this just starts with the offensive line and the movement that the offensive line is getting. He's really taking advantage of how much this interior is getting pushed off the line of scrimmage. They're using different ways. And I will say, too, we've complained about the run game a lot this season. This is one of the few games I felt like they really stuck to it, and it wasn't always pretty. There were some negative plays. There were times that you didn't get much out of it, but they just stuck to it. And I think,
aside from the second quarter,
facts, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
But they stuck to it, and they gave him the carries that kept the defense honest. But I think that a lot of it also too is just keep doing it. And the opposing team's defense, it doesn't matter if you get negative yardage out of it or not. It's easier on them when you're passing the ball. Don't be easy on them. Don't make it easy on them and sit back and drop back all those times. Run at them. It's not always going to be positive. It's not always going to be pretty, but be physical and establish the line of scrimmage. And I think that that's a part of the reason why he's been able to find some success running the ball over these last couple weeks.
And yards after contact have really been up these past few weeks.
He's bouncing off of people. You see it.
Yeah, and when you're at field level, that's because you can't see all the, it's not the all 22 coaches film where you can see the holes opening. What you see from that level is the yards after contact. And to your point, the offensive line, off the ball, moving everything.
Christy and Aisha both made really good points about the offensive line's improvement. That allowed Rico Dowdle to have 112 yards and become the first 100-yard rusher since September of 2023. And that's something that Rico Dowdle has even expressed. The improvement on the offensive line, specifically, though, with Brock Hoffman. He's bringing a different type of fire to this offensive line when he steps foot on the field. That's up next.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage, customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
There was also a lot for the Dallas Cowboys to be thankful for on Thanksgiving Day. Aside from the win, though, there were some individual players whose stock continues to rise. Brock Hoffman being one of them, replacing Zach Martin against the Giants because of an injury. And with the biggest news of the week, Zach Martin will have to undergo surgery for an ankle, his third ankle surgery of his career. So insert Brock Hoffman, he'll have to step in and take over. I caught up with him this week about how he's been able to step in and that fire that he brings to the offensive line. Here's what he had to say.
I feel like for me, I grew up a coach's son. My dad played in the 80s, coached in the 90s, early 2000s, so the game's changed a little bit, but he always told me if you're going to play the game, you got to play it nasty, and that's kind of what I've always tried to do my whole career. And, as you get older, you kind of get more and more confident. Obviously, as you step on the field in the NFL, as you get more reps, you get more confident. I feel like really that's my football personality, and it starts to show.
Yeah, and that's something that you see guys, defensive linemen, that get visibly frustrated. You saw it from Dexter Lawrence, from the Giants. And does that something that keeps you fired, or is it something that you just try to get guys out of their game?
Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of who I am at this point, It's kind of what I've always been as I've gotten older and grown up. But, when you see it on their face, that's when it's just like it's blood in the water, like you just keep poking and prodding and trying to keep getting under their skin. But for me, it's always been who I am,
Has there been a favorite reaction that you've gotten from a defensive line?
I don't know. I think when Frankie Louvu punched me, because he punched me after we played him in the Panthers game, and I only played like 15 snaps.
Yeah.
So I think when that happened, I was like, man, you like punching me, huh? So I feel like I can get under his skin pretty good. So that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, Mike McCarthy's loved it. He's vocalized it a lot throughout the press conferences this season. But when you talk about the improvement on the interior of the offensive lineman specifically, what do you feel has helped that?
I feel like, when we were about to play Washington, we're on the sideline, I just looked at the guys, I'm like, we have nothing to lose. Like, you might as well just go out here and play physical and just let it go. Like, we've already lost a bunch of games at that point, like there's literally nothing to lose. Like, you just need to let it go and let's go play physical, and we'll see how it looks on film after and we'll correct from there. But as long as we're being physical and pushing that edge and towing that line, things will help out, or things will work out, and the chips will fall.
Your journey's been kind of interesting because you've been, what I'd like to say is kept in the shadows a little bit, having to battle with time between Tyler Biadasz and then training camp battling with Cooper Beebe and now getting more opportunities. But what's kept you motivated?
Man, my parents have always told me that, you're always going to face adversity in life, and no matter what happens, just know you're going to come out on the other end a better person and on the field a better player. And I think that, my fiance has been a really big, huge support system for me. Yeah, for sure. Just talking with her damn near every day about all the frustrations and, struggles you go with through on the field and whatnot. But I would really just say having a good support system around me.
And you have a guy like Zach Martin, too,
100%.
That's been, I'm pretty sure, helpful as well. What's the message for him to you about just making the most of your opportunities?
Yeah, no, Zach's obviously been, a hell of a player, and he's helped me so much since I've been here. And just, he's just a guy you follow, right? He does everything right on and off the field, and you can ask him questions, but really you just got to watch and learn, and he's really helped me a lot. And I guess the message he said to me was before the Giants game, make it chippy early. I'm like, all right, third play, we're making it chippy.
There will have to be a lot of decisions to make for the front office with Zach Martin. He's now at the end of his contract, but Brock Hoffman has played very well in place of him. In just 183 offensive snaps, he's gave up only one pressure. Against the Giants, he allowed 0. So certainly stepping in the shoes, but it is hard when you talk about a 9-time Pro Bowler, all-pro guy who also played an integral part in Ezekiel Elliott's early career success. All right, up next, Mike McCarthy became a hot topic as well this week with Dak Prescott coming into his defense. That's up next here on Cowboys Rewind.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that I believe in them wholeheartedly. I don't want to necessarily get into the nuts and the screws of it all, obviously, but I think he definitely deserves a chance, another contract, and a chance to coach this team amongst and kind of, I guess you can say, more influence on his terms. Maybe a good way to say it. But I wholeheartedly believe in him. The guys won a Super Bowl. I know Jerry's attested to that. There's not many guys or coaches who have done that, and to have one that can do it from experience, and I know how valuable he's been for me.
Well, there's certainly nothing better than hearing your franchise quarterback come to your defense about the culture that you've built here in Dallas. Dak Prescott putting a stamp on his belief in Mike McCarthy and hoping he continues his future here in Dallas. Prescott, in an interview with NFL reporter Jory Epstein this week, it took over social media and national headlines and became a hot topic here at the Star as well. Should Mike McCarthy remain in Dallas if the team continues on the trajectory they're on? Here's the break crew weighing in.
If that were to happen, if McCarthy comes back, I see a reality where it's a 2-year deal. It doesn't want to be a 1-year deal. I don't think McCarthy wants to be on an expiring contract.
Nor should it
again.
be, I don't think.
Nor should it be. And he doesn't want to answer the questions about expiring contracts anymore. And I don't think he should either. But it gives everybody 1 year to figure it out. And if McCarthy is right for the long-term future for the rest of Dak's time in Dallas, because that's immediately what you're going to be looking at when you're talking about the offensive side of the ball. I don't see a reality right now, though, where McCarthy is back without a different play caller.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I could see that.
I will consider giving you an extension if you change who is the primary play caller.
And now, I like him.
And if it's shoddy or going out and get one of these guys that are going to get let go, or you steal somebody from somebody else, if we don't come to that agreement, then I'm going to have to let you go.
Yeah.
That's my ultimatum to you. You're either going to change the play caller and keep your job, or you're not going to do that, and you're going to be looking like, and I'll go interview somebody else. Is what I'll do. So
because that's the biggest problem right now. The biggest problem is the offense. You would say, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt. You've got huge money tied up in your offense.
Yep.
You've got to figure. You got now 4 more years of Dak Prescott. You better figure that one out, or that's going to become real expensive for you to have to deal with, and you better figure out something for your wide receiver too.
Yep.
Because he's going to need some help as well.
The assumption is that you're going to bring in 1, maybe 2 backs this offseason as well. You want to be able to maximize what they can bring to the offense as young guys. You would assume so. That's another really fascinating conversation. This coaching staff, I don't think is as slam dunk like out of here as I think as everyone thinks there is. I don't believe that. I really don't.
I know I got some questions coming up, but this wasn't one of my questions though. Do you think Mike McCarthy wants to be back?
Yes.
Is there a side of him that's he knows the drill, but is he okay with the drill?
I'll go ahead.
I don't think he likes the media. To be 100%, I don't think
the media's everywhere.
I don't
right?
think it's specifically the Cowboys.
Okay. You don't think that's what I'm saying. You don't think he likes the Cowboys media?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What the national spotlight brings from this building. I don't think he's.
Is Green Bay a lot different?
Green Bay is a lot different.
Oh yeah,
you can speak a lot.
No, but last time I was in Green Bay was '95. But yeah, it's not
even from a national perspective, because I think they're one of the franchises that gets a lot of national attention. It's not like the Cowboys.
No. They're very nice to those guys and gals.
Every time.
Not that we're mean.
I've never been in the Green Bay media. I don't know.
No, it's not that. I don't think that we're mean, but I think it's the national media.
Everything's scrutinized around here. Like Green Bay tours are not getting an article on ESPN. That's all due respect to ESPN, but Green Bay tours are not getting coverage like that. Yeah. Everything is scrutinized in this building, from the way you breathe to the way you walk to the way you talk. I don't think McCarthy is the biggest fan of that, and I don't think anybody in their right mind would be. Some people learn to live with it a little bit better than others. I think you could look at some coaches in the past or some quarterbacks in the past that live with it a little bit better than others. I think Dak Prescott's a good example of that. He just takes it and moves on. I think he doesn't like that aspect of it, but I think he likes the aspect of being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
The conversation's getting a little spicy in the podcast this week. You love to see it. You also love to see the players in a whole different light. We get a chance to see the Cowboys in the community up next here on Cowboys Rewind.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.
While football and winning games are important at this point of the season, it's also important to show gratitude, humility. During the Christmas holiday, it's something the Dallas Cowboys organization took the time out to show this week, making their annual trip to children's hospitals and bring some holiday cheer.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
From Fort Worth.
Go for it. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Down the Dallas North Tollway to the city. Charlotte Jones, the Dallas Cowboys, and DCC made the trip to 4 locations to make sure young kids feel special during this holiday season.
This is such a special time of year for us to have the opportunity to step off the field and into something that is far more important and brings an incredible perspective to our players and to us, and to see the smiles on the children's faces and their parents. It's really special to be able to have the ability to do that.
For 35 years, this has been a Cowboys tradition, bringing holiday cheer to kids who may have lost their holiday spirit. But sometimes all it takes is a Dallas Cowboy to help bring it back.
So you listen to Taba's new album?
It's all right. There's like 2 good songs.
It makes me feel awesome, you know, it grounds me, especially to come see the kids in this situation. I got kids of my own, so put life in perspective and just understanding that I'm blessed, and yeah, I got a great platform to be able to get back.
You know, they obviously watch us on TV, but to be able to meet us and you know, put a face to the helmet that you're seeing on TV, and again, to spread the Christmas cheer and let them know that we're thinking about them and praying for them.
Much like Santa Claus, the Cowboys' name carries weight, so bringing their stockings full of goodies to the kids means the world. But they're not just giving out gifts, they're getting one in return.
For one, it's just always an honor, and it reminds us of humility and our gratitude, how thankful we should be for this opportunity to be able to come here with these children, their parents, create positivity, give a positive, influence. I just think that all that's important for the mind, and it's just good, really good for the heart too.
I think looking at our players first, let's start there, because you just see in them, for a minute they realize the power of the platform that they stand on. I think during the holidays especially, we all have a lot to be grateful for, and you come in here and you're reminded of that.
Cook Children's in Fort Worth, Scottish Rite, Children's Health, and Children's Hospital in Dallas. The Cowboys making sure their impact stretches across the DFW. But if you ask Charlotte Jones if they'd like to reach more, she'd say,
I wish there were more of us, and because there are a lot of families in need and a lot of families hurting right now, and a lot of kids that need some smiles, and to need to be reminded during this holiday season that there are others that are thinking about them. And if we have just the ability to bring one little glimmer of hope or smile to someone, especially right now, then it's all worth it.
The Cowboys give back to the community, but this also is a reminder that the community that they are with them always. It's been something that Charlotte Jones and this organization, again, prides itself off of. They also pride themselves of the historical success that's attached to this franchise's name, something they plan to continue to make strides to give back to, and it continues this week in a matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to wrap things up here on Cowboys Rewind, up next.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage, customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com.
Under 36 hours until kickoff, the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals on a Monday night prime time. The Cowboys hoping to keep the ball rolling, get their third straight win, get their second win at home, and get into the win column once again to get to 6-7. They hold the all-time series between the two, a 10-4 all-time record, having won the last time Dallas played Joe Burrow in 2022. But again, these are two completely different teams from that year, considering the position that both are in. It's do or die to get in the playoffs, and both are coming in with a sense of urgency that they haven't had before. Can the Dallas Cowboys rally together once again Monday night? Can they slow down a high-flying offense like the Bengals? And can the offense match the defense's energy from start to finish? Only time will tell. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, all those Bengals weapons come to Dallas looking to take over Dallas. But the Cowboys looking to continue to build off of what they've been able to do the last couple of weeks. It's a 7:15 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. We'll see y'all there.